Welcome back to another episode of Launch Your Light. So happy to have you here. Today, we're going to be continuously breaking down what I'm calling the myth of course creation. All right. I'm here to remind you that you don't start from scratch. So many people get tripped up with this. So many women get tripped up with this. Like, you think you're starting from scratch and you've got to create these things. And listen, I'm going to help you calm all of that noise in your mind down and show you that you actually have all that you need within you already. All right. So stay with me. We're going to go deeper into this. So I believe there is a lie in the online business world that keeps women stuck. And it is this, that you need to come up with X, Y, and Z, that you need to come up with a course idea, that you need to come up with a program idea, that you need to pull this shit out of thin air. Like it's something you invent, like it's something you brainstorm, like it's something you pull out of thin air. You don't. You don't start from scratch. I believe you start from lived experience. And today I want to dismantle the myth of course creation and show you what's actually happening when women build powerful programs. I've been studying this for years. One, I've created courses for 10 years. And because I'm in this industry, I've watched so many other women create courses from this, women that make millions of dollars a year off of courses they've created, right? And there is a theme. And with what I'm about to say, right? It's like a lot of these women aren't just like slapping programs together. All right. So, first, I want to help you understand why the whole starting from scratch feeling feels so hard. When you believe you have to invent something, it's almost like you're sitting there staring at a blank screen, like a blank page, thinking, what should I teach? What would people buy? What niche should I pick? What trend is hot right now? And immediately you disconnect from your body, you disconnect from your story and your spirit. And more importantly, you disconnect from your own wisdom. You move into performance mode, market research mode, comparison mode. And that's what feels heavy because you're trying to fabricate authority instead of extracting it. So I want to remind you that you're not creating, you're extracting. This is what I teach. Here's the truth. You're not creating a new course, you're extracting a process. Every transformation you've gone through, every ring of fire, I call them earth classrooms, every earth classroom you've gone through, it required, and you went through a shift, a sequence, a realization, you set a boundary, you made a decision, you had a new way of operating, right? You went through something transformational and then you came out the other side of it. That's an initiation, right? And you went through and integrated that, and now you're operating as a different person. And I'm sure you've done this 20 plus times, 100 times. Like, think back on all the really challenging things you went through in your life and how much wisdom you've experienced. That all is something that you specifically came here to experience so that you could vibrate at a frequency that would help others. And whether that's meeting someone in a grocery store or designing a course for them, right? You operate at a specific frequency that you originally and authentically went through. I'm telling you, you can turn that into a process, a course, a program, or a method. This is what I do with the women I work with in the business school. So that sequence I'm talking about, that's your curriculum. I know it may either sound mind-blowing to you or it may sound too easy. You may also just be sitting here going like, holy shit, why have I been trying to reinvent the wheel? Why am I trying to teach about this random ass topic when I am filled with stuff I want to talk about, I want to teach on, right? So because it happened organically, it's hard to look at it like that, right? Because it unfolded over many months or weeks or years or whatever, you don't recognize it as being structured. You might have been like, that was the hottest mass express of my life, or that was like the most intense thing I ever went through. What do you mean I followed a process? I'm saying you created a process. You went through something specifically. And that's the illusion. When we can look at it from where we are now, when we can look back and go, you know what? I did end up doing this and had to make these decisions, had to put up these boundaries, went through this process, listened to this book, took this tool, got this certification. Like you went through a whole thing. And this is really what the work is that I love to teach women about is that you are so experienced. You are the expertise. You know, you have expertise. You are the expert in what you went through and how you went through it. And I'm not saying it was cute, okay? These were some of the biggest medicine moments of our life. But there are so many women at that place where you were now. And they are looking for teachers and guides and leaders who will say, hey, been there, done that. I know exactly what you're going through. And this is really what helped me. These are the steps I took. This is what I did. This is why I created. These were the conversations I had to have. These were the boundaries I put up, whatever it was, right? This is who I had to become. People are looking for experience now. They are looking for storytelling. They're looking for people who have actually been through what they're going through. They don't necessarily just want to like read a random blog on it or ask ChatGPT for it. Okay. So you think you don't have the structure, but you lived through it. And most likely, what happens for a lot of us is what we live through and work through, it doesn't just happen once because it's what our soul is here to learn about and get and gain wisdom and knowledge and experience about. It, it ends up being a theme. It comes up more than once. It happens more often than not. Right? And because of that, you grew every time. You evolved every time. So I want you to start looking at it from this angle, okay? So the difference between fabrication and integration is this. There are two ways to build a program. You can go the fabrication route. I heard this sells. Oh, it looks like she's selling it. Maybe I'll do that too. Ooh, I'll package this trend up. This seems trendy. Looks like people will buy. I'll replicate someone else's framework. It worked for her. Maybe I'll try that. Integration is very different from that. Integration and initiation looks like this. You saying, this changed me. I walked through this. I know the steps because I embodied it. I created it. I am this. I am a different person. One feels forced, and obviously the other one feels aligned. Here's what people feel instantly within the two of those: integrity, authority, truth, reality. When you teach from integration, there's depth, there's nuance, there's truth, and there's something magnetic to it. So I teach you to reverse engineer the process. Instead of asking, what should I create? I want you to ask, what did I overcome? I want you to really sit down and journal these out right now. What have you overcome in your life? Because listen, I'm not saying you have to like teach on all the things and only the things that you learn from. No, but I want you to start understanding and recognizing some pattern recognition. I want you to start really seeing themes pop out at you when you sit down and write this out. Instead of asking, what niche should I choose? I want you to ask, what transformation do I understand so deeply because I lived it? A transformation that I feel confident, now that I'm looking at it like this, feel confident in helping others with, right? Business is very simple. We have solution to needs in the marketplace, or we have solutions to desires in the marketplace. You have been through something and you have an answer to people's problems, right? So the reverse engineering is it some questions to ask yourself if you're looking back and going, oh, I do see some patterns. Actually, I have been through some shit and I feel really empowered in where I stand now to help someone with this. And here's the thing, I'm going to blow your mind with this one. This is probably something that people are already coming to you for. I say this with soul purpose all the time. Most likely you are already operating at, you are already emitting a frequency, a special, like a specific vibration around this. So people come to you for it anyway. For example, people were coming to me for soul purpose for decades before I actually knew what the word soul purpose even meant, what it was, or before I even had like a business school and masterminds and coaching around it. Are you kidding me? People were coming up to me in bars around the world talking to me about their soul purpose. In every job I had, I ended up coaching someone around what they were here to do and their deepest desires. And they would start telling me these things. I was like, oh my God, this shit was happening to me from brunches to bars in New York City to walks on in Hong Kong. Okay. Like it just is. It's the vibration that my soul is here to embody on the planet. It's my specific, unique blueprint. You've got one too. Let's start dissecting it. Let's start looking back. Let's get clear about the pattern recognition here, okay? So, some questions that you can reverse engineer here and say, what was the first shift that you made? What was that decision you made when you were going through that thing? There's so many examples of this. I don't even want to give an example. I want you to just explore this in your own mind, in your own soul, in your body, okay? What was the first shift you made? Shift away from being something else, shift away a decision you made, something where you said something's got to change. Okay? What was that? Then what did you have to learn? What was the actual learning journey that you went through in this process? What did you have to stop doing? What were the things that you had to stop doing? Maybe behaviors, maybe actions, right? Maybe whatever. What did you have to stop doing? Next question. What did you have to start doing? What were some of the new patterns and behaviors, right? And habits? I don't know. What were some of the actions what did you have to start doing in this process? Then ask yourself, what mistakes did you make? What mistakes did you make in the process? What mistakes were you making before you realized you had to make a change? You had to make a decision, right? So what were the mistakes that you did make? What were the mistakes that you made in the process of learning, of growing? Because people will do this and they will fumble along the way. So if you can write out all of your fumbles and where people can, you can lessen the journey time for other people. Of course, they'll all have their own journey. Absolutely, we all do. But you get what I'm saying here. They're coming to you to actually have a sound and trusted transformational experience. That's to me what coursework is, program work is, method work is. You're creating your own processy. You don't have to have a degree or some freaking whatever. I love certifications. Are you kidding me? I love degrees and certifications. I will never stop learning. I'm a 5-1 pure generator. Are you kidding? I'm a Capricorn with loads of Scorpio transits. Like, I will never stop learning. I will never stop getting certifications. I will never stop reading. However, I am a master at creating processes, right? And these are the steps I walked myself through. And these are the steps I walk my clients through. Last one here for you, the question, what accelerated the breakthrough? This is where you can also say like, oh, I found this tool. I found this teacher. I got this book. I heard this quote. I heard about this practice, right? What were the things that actually accelerated your breakthrough? So these questions right here are so serious. I want you to write them down. Go back and rewind if you need to. Write these down in a journal and go sit with them after this podcast. Okay? Because you're not guessing, you're mapping. And mapping is much easier than inventing, right? Than recreating the wheel, my love. Why this matters in today's market. Like, why am I so serious about this right now? Here's the thing. This is why. One, we're walking into watching and we're going to be experiencing in our lifetime the greatest wealth transfer. The great wealth transfer is what it's called. A lot of money is coming into the hands of women. A lot of money is coming into the hands of good people. A lot of money is coming into the hands, and money wants to work with people who are doing great things with it and doing great things on the world, on the planet with. So there's a lot happening here. But statistically, the online education industry is growing rapidly. It is projected to approach $1 trillion by 2030. You deserve a piece of that. I deserve a piece of that. We are part of that. So in 2026, get your shit together. Get these programs out, get these processes out. Maybe it's going to be a book. Maybe it's going to be a course. Maybe it's going to be its own certification process. I don't know. I could help you with all of that, though. I have done all those things. Here's the shift that's happening. Information is everywhere. Now you can look up anything on YouTube. You can look up anything on TikTok. You can look up anything on a blog post, anywhere, ever. You can learn how to do absolutely everything, for the best things to the worst things in the world. Information is everywhere. We are past the age of information. However, transformation is rare. Evolution is rare. Not that many people want to change, want to evolve, want to transform. So people are looking for those that have had that experience, who have done that thing. People don't need more PDFs. They need someone who understands the internal shift that they are desiring, that they want and need. And women are uniquely positioned for this because we tend to process deeply. There are memes about this, there are jokes about this, there are books written about this. We process things more deeply than our male counterparts. We also integrate emotionally, we integrate on an embodied level. We also track nuance, right? We are going to pay attention to the differences places and what makes us different from that person and what's similar. And we go deeper into those details. We also guide relationally. We're great storytellers. Like I'm a storyteller in all my work. Half of my work is me storytelling. But that's where people can actually identify. They can have an identity shift within me telling a transformational story. Absolutely. So much of my work and my marketing is just that. The world doesn't need more noise, and it is getting noisier and noisier, 1000%. But it does need more embodied teachers and guides and leaders. That's you. I'm here to tell you that's you. All right. So I am here to help you with an identity shift today on this call. I'm reminding you that you are not a beginner. You are not a beginner. You are a woman who has been through something. You've been through a lot of things. And you are not starting at zero. This insane idea. It's really an illusion that you don't know, you don't have all the things, and you're not certified and you're not qualified. Like, it's fucking bizarre. It's bonkers. Drop it. You are not starting at zero. You are starting at lived experience. And when you can see that, course creation becomes lighter, the book becomes lighter, the program becomes lighter, the certification becomes lighter, all of it. It becomes clear, it becomes more honest, and it really, honestly, you want to get to work. It becomes extraction work. And that's exactly what we'll be doing from soul to syllabus. This is my 3-day course creation challenge I have coming up March 4th, 5th, and 6th. 3 days completely free. I am going to teach you how to extract all of this medicine, how to formulate it, how to put it together, who it's perfect for, what platforms and where to have it live and what to do with it and all of your tech blocks. I help you crush all of that. We break it down day by day. This whole 3-day process will literally be an initiation and identity shift for you. You're not just brainstorming random ideas. You're not slapping things together. You're not doing what's trendy. You're pulling your method out of your life. Not mine, not hers, not his, yours. Yours. All right. So here are some questions I want you to sit with. What do I understand now that I once struggled with deeply? What do I understand now that I once struggled with deeply? What would I tell my past self if she was sitting in front of me now? What would I tell my past self if she was sitting in front of me now? If I had to break my transformation into 5 stages, what would they be? I'll say it again. If I had to break my transformation into 5 stages, what would they be? That's your outline, babe. All right. And if you want more of that, come into the free challenge. You don't start from scratch. You start from survival, actually. That decision you made way back when to choose a different life, that spark, that life force energy, that is the start of your process, your program, your method. And I will teach you. I am the teacher. I don't really see anyone else teaching like this, like at all. Of course, there's women out there teaching about this, but it's not showing up in my feed, right? I am teaching you very different from like go on to ChatGPT and give me like 20 ideas of courses to create. You know what I mean? I believe we start from integration, we start from that initiation, and we track embodiment, and then we turn that into the draft. That's your rough draft, all right? So if you're ready to extract your lived wisdom into a structured, sellable program, join us inside From Soul to Syllabus. Your curriculum already exists. We're just mapping it out. You can head to the show notes, and right under will be the link to sign up for this challenge. We will see you in March. I can't wait to have you in there. Can't wait to see what wants to come out of you. All right. Until then, we'll see you on the next episode. Bye.